So I'm sure you do know a lot of things about the Chandrayaan, but there are equally, I think, a lot of other things that people do not know about Chandrayaan. And to answer all your questions, what is the Chandrayaan doing right now? Why are we talking about it so much? Where is India's space exploration program, and much more? We have two very special guests with us. Ajey Lele needs no introduction. He's a senior fellow at the Manohar Parrikar Institute for Defence Studies and Analysis with us. And we also have Manish Purohit, who's an ex-ISRO scientist, and I was just looking, Manish, at your Instagram handle, and it has some lovely pictures of, the lander, the rover, a lot of other things, and that makes us, so proud of where India is today, I think, Manish. But with your permission, I want to begin with Ajey Lele, and the first question to him, sir, is what is it that India will achieve once on the 23rd India is successful in the soft landing? Why is this mission, sir, so very important? And how is this a marked improvement over Chandrayaan-2? Ajey Lele.
I think we'll have to look at this mission in a larger perspective, right from Chandrayaan-1 mission, because no space program should be viewed, to my mind, in isolation. Chandrayaan-1 mission, which happened during 2008-2009, gave us good amount of information about the surface of the moon. Our orbiter was moving from 100 kilometers above the lunar surface and taking photographs. Subsequently, along with NASA scientists, Indian scientists were able to crack the puzzle of availability of water on the moon. And I think that was one of the most important aspects of India's first mission to the moon, that Indian scientists were able to identify clearly that whatever form it may be, the water is available on the lunar surface. So hence became the start of a journey for Chandrayaan-2 mission, where now, since we have already information about availability of water, we wanted to know a bit more about it, dig bit deep about it, and we decided to take a call of having a rover and a lander system and to land onto the south pole of the moon, where there is a maximum possibility of water. So we had certain amount of successes in the 2019 mission also. Already, as it was mentioned, that Chandrayaan-2 orbiter has welcomed the Vikram lander. So the Chandrayaan-2 orbiter was a success of Chandrayaan-2 mission. The orbiter initially was expected to be there for 1 year, but subsequently there was a realization that the mission had taken off in a very copybook fashion and good amount of fuel saving had happened. Hence, the orbiter is expected to be there for 7 years. So today, when we are approaching to the moon with our rover and a lander system, which has got sensors on board, which will be undertaking certain observations and few experiments also, with a curiosity to find exactly, is there a water in the southern pole? If it is there, it is in what form? Then there are a few other sensors which are going to take certain amount of thermal observations. There is a sensor which is going to talk of seismological observations. So it's a very interesting mission, not only for India, but for the entire world, because to know more about the availability of water, I think no other mission which is there onto the moon has given the answers. And Chandrayaan-3 will be in a position to give better answers than all other earlier missions on the moon surface.
Oh, wow. And Ajey Lele, I think just listening to all this gives us goosebumps. Manish, you say you're a listener, you are also an educator. There's so much more that I think all of you bring to the table. But there is also this tweet that has just come in from the European Space Agency. And I quickly want to, read this. And I'm just going to request our team to fire that tweet if possible, Manish, and you can take that ahead. Now, this is the ESA says that our new Norcia antenna will serve as a backup for ISRO's ground station during the Chandrayaan-3 landing, currently planned for Wednesday, 23rd of August. And it, in fact, retweets another tweet by the ESA operations that says another ESA station has turned into the Chandrayaan-3 mission. ESA's 35-meter deep antenna in New Norcia in Australia will provide the tracking support during the lander module's descent to the lunar surface. The first contact, it says, Manish, with the module was established yesterday. So this does tell us that it's not just Indians like you, me, and everyone here who are so elated, you know, who are already having goosebumps, very, very anxious, but it's the world looking at this, because this is that one model that the world will be envious about, you know, right from its budget to its structure to the kind of tests, Manish, that it has undergone.
Yeah, actually, there is one more aspect to it. That's the technology part of it. See, let's understand why ESA and NASA, all these, everyone is coming together, because there is one very fun part about it. That is, Earth is rotating on its axis and revolving around the sun, right? So there are some possible times when Chandrayaan-3 is in orbit around the moon. It might not be visible to our ground stations that we have in India. So we have to anyways go for a collaborative effort. That's why all such missions, when we are aiming for the deep space explorations, they are global missions. They are collaborative missions. So that's why ESA deep space antennas, they will be tracking the Chandrayaan. They will be tracking our Vikram lander when might possible it is out of sight for our antennas, and then the communication will happen. Now similar thing, just right now, sir has mentioned that we have made a communication with Chandrayaan-2 orbiter. Now that is also one very important aspect of our mission planning. In case, just at an off-nominal situation, let's say we have successfully landed on moon, but because of some uncertainties, let's say we land in such a position where our ground stations are not directly visible to our Vikram. Now, in that case, we can't afford a communication blackout. We need extra support, and our Chandrayaan-2 orbiter is that most vital extra support. We have our propulsion module also that will act as a relay. So, this is a foolproof planning that not for a single nanosecond will say that we are going to miss sight of Chandrayaan. So it is like we are ready for that day. We are ready for those 17 minutes of terror to happen. And for sure, our readiness is so robust that those 17 minutes are not going to terrorize us like they did in our Chandrayaan-2 mission.
You used the word terrorize. I'm not sure whether that is the best word, because it's good stress. Ajay Lele ji, one would say that it's important to have good stress, but to keep that smile and that hope on there, because it's only an achiever, Manish, who falls down but gets up again. And that's exactly what the team at ISRO has done. Even though Chandrayaan-2 was partially successful, but we've corrected, we have seen the mistakes that were made, and we are trying to ensure that we don't end up making the same mistakes. The reason why I think the world today is also looking at us. But now we'll put our focus on the other thing, Ajay Lele ji and Manish, that a lot of viewers would want to know and would be fascinated about, the South Pole. The moon there obviously has a South Pole also, and one would wonder what is so special about landing on the South Pole. We must tell them that no other country in the world has done that. They haven't been able to attempt and have a successful soft landing on the South Pole. So why is the South Pole so special? Why is it called the South Pole? What does it have? And also because the South Pole doesn't have much of light, Manish and Ajay Lele ji, it's an unexplored and an uncharted territory with huge craters, and there are reports that indicate that possibly we could have huge amount of water in the South Pole. So what is the significance? What does the mission plan to do? What is the South Pole all about? Our next report tells you more, and then we'll carry forward the conversation with Ajay Lele ji and Manish in just a moment.